Imagine a tarp, one you can trust your life with. It's midnight, a storm is raging, rain is hammering down like bullets, and the wind is trying to rip your shelter to shreds. Your standard blue plastic tarp? It's flapping wildly, tearing at the grommets. It's loud, brittle, and a single, stray ember from your campfire could melt a hole right through it. Now picture something different. A tarp made from simple, recycled cotton. It's quiet in the storm. It feels substantial, yet it's surprisingly lightweight. This isn't some high-tech fantasy material. This is waxed canvas, an ancient technology that is making a huge comeback. It's tougher, more waterproof, and more reliable than the plastic tarps we've been told are superior. We've been sold a lie about modern gear. We think new and plastic mean better. But in a real survival situation, that's not always true. A plastic tarp is a disposable item. It gets weak in the sun, cracks in the cold, and once it rips, it's nearly impossible to repair properly in the field. It's a temporary solution at best. The recycled canvas tarp, however, is the opposite. It's a long-term survival partner. I've seen plastic tarps fail in less than an hour in a serious squall, leaving people exposed and vulnerable. But a well-made waxed canvas shelter will stand strong against the elements, season after season. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Let's talk performance. Strength is critical. A plastic tarp will tear under pressure. Try pulling it hard, and you'll see the thin material stretch and give way. Now, take a piece of waxed canvas. The dense cotton weave, infused with wax, resists tearing with incredible force. You can put real tension on it to get a taut ridgeline for your shelter. It's also puncture resistant. A sharp branch that would slice through plastic will often just glance off the tough, pliable surface of the canvas. This isn't just about convenience. It's about having a shelter that won't fail you when you need it most. It's the difference between a safe night's sleep and a desperate fight against exposure. Weight and packability are also key considerations for any adventurer. You might think a heavy-duty canvas would be a monster to carry. Think again. Modern wax canvas, made from tightly woven recycled cotton, is surprisingly light for its strength. It packs down neatly without the permanent creases and weak points that form in folded plastic. A plastic tarp feels lifeless and synthetic. A waxed canvas tarp feels alive, like a piece of gear with a soul. It's quiet, it's durable, and it connects you to a long history of explorers and survivors who relied on this exact same technology to conquer the wild. It's time we rediscovered its power. For decades, we've been conditioned to believe that plastic is the pinnacle of outdoor material science. It's cheap, it's mass-produced, and it's everywhere. We see it in our tents, our tarps, and our waterproof jackets, but this reliance on synthetics has made us forget a crucial lesson from history. Before the age of plastic, people didn't just survive the wilderness, they thrived in it. They did so using natural, durable materials. Sailors crossed treacherous oceans under sails of oiled canvas. Soldiers endured brutal campaigns with waxed canvas bedrolls and tents. Pioneers built their lives with the help of rugged canvas wagon covers that protected them from sun, rain, and snow. These weren't just pieces of fabric, they were lifelines. The men who explored the highest mountains and the most remote jungles didn't have Gore-Tex or nylon. They had canvas, treated with natural oils and waxes. This simple combination created a material that was breathable, waterproof, and incredibly tough. It could be repaired with a simple needle and thread. It aged like a good leather jacket, gaining character and becoming more reliable over time. Plastic, on the other hand, simply degrades. It becomes brittle and weak, a shadow of its former self, destined for a landfill. The durability of waxed canvas was proven over centuries of hard use in the most demanding conditions imaginable. The shift to plastic was driven by cost and convenience, not superiority. It was cheaper to manufacture a disposable plastic tarp than to weave and treat a quality piece of canvas. The throwaway culture took hold, and we lost touch with the skills and materials that had served our ancestors so well. We traded long-term reliability for short-term savings. We swapped a repairable, sustainable tool for a disposable product. This mindset is dangerous in a survival context. When you're miles from civilization, you need gear you can depend on and repair yourself. You can't afford for your primary shelter to fail because of a manufacturing defect or simple wear and tear. Today, there's a growing movement of people looking back to these time-tested technologies. Campers, preppers, and DIY builders are realizing that true resilience doesn't come from a factory in a sealed plastic bag. It comes from understanding how things work and using materials that are built to last. They are challenging the myth that plastic is always the answer. They are discovering that a recycled cotton tarp, treated with a simple blend of wax and oil, can outperform its modern plastic cousin in almost every way that matters. It's a return to self-reliance, sustainability, and gear that truly has your back. So, how does this simple material work so effectively? The magic lies in a brilliant two-part system: the cotton fiber itself and the wax that coats it. The process starts with a dense, tightly woven cotton fabric, often from recycled sources like old bed sheets or painter's drop cloths. On its own, cotton absorbs water, but when you infuse it with a blend of natural waxes like beeswax and oils like linseed or paraffin, its properties are completely transformed. The wax doesn't just sit on the surface, it penetrates deep into the cotton fibers, creating a formidable barrier against moisture from the outside. The result is a fabric that is hydrophobic, meaning it actively repels water. But the real genius is what happens when the fabric does get saturated over a long period. This is where it truly outshines plastic. The individual cotton fibers, even though coated in wax, will begin to swell slightly as they absorb minuscule amounts of moisture. As they swell, they press tightly against each other, effectively closing any microscopic gaps in the weave. This process is called self-healing. It means the wetter the canvas gets, the more waterproof it becomes. A plastic tarp has no such ability. Once water finds a pinhole or a tear, it's coming through, and the leak will only get worse. The canvas, however, actively works to seal itself. This self-healing property also applies to punctures. If you poke a small hole in a plastic tarp, it's a permanent weak point. The plastic may even tear further from that spot under stress. But with waxed canvas, the pliable, waxy fibers around the puncture can often be worked back into place with just your fingers. A little bit of heat from the sun or your hand can soften the wax, helping to reseal the area. For larger tears, a simple patch of canvas and a few stitches are all you need for a permanent, waterproof repair. You are carrying a shelter that you can maintain and fix indefinitely, using basic skills and materials. Furthermore, the fabric remains breathable. This is a huge advantage over plastic. A plastic tarp traps moisture from your breath and body, leading to condensation on the inside of your shelter. This condensation can drip down, making you and your gear damp, which is a fast track to hypothermia in cold weather. Wax canvas, however, allows water vapor to escape, keeping the inside of your shelter dry and comfortable. It blocks the rain from coming in but doesn't trap the moisture you produce. It's a smart fabric that works with nature, not against it, providing a dry, safe, and comfortable environment. One of the most empowering things about waxed canvas is that you don't need a factory to make it. You can craft your own high-performance survival tarp right at home using recycled materials. This is a skill that puts you in control of your own gear. So, first, you need your canvas. Look for 100% cotton fabric. Old, heavy-duty cotton painter's drop cloths are perfect. Even old canvas tents or heavy cotton bed sheets can be repurposed. The key is a tight weave, and no synthetic blends like polyester, as they won't absorb the wax properly. Wash the fabric thoroughly to remove any sizing or dirt and let it dry completely. A good size for a versatile tarp is around 3 by 3 meters, or about 10 by 10 feet. Next, you'll prepare your waxing mixture. The traditional recipe is simple and effective. You'll need a double boiler or an old pot you don't mind dedicating to this task. Never heat wax directly over a flame, as it's flammable. Create a mixture of beeswax and paraffin wax. A good starting ratio is 50-50. The beeswax provides pliability and a pleasant smell, while the paraffin wax improves water resistance. For an even better finish, you can add a small amount of boiled linseed oil or tung oil to the mix, about 1 part oil to 10 parts wax. This helps the mixture penetrate deeper and keeps the fabric from becoming too stiff in the cold. Melt it all together slowly, until it's a smooth, clear liquid. Now for the application. Lay your clean, dry canvas out flat on a protected surface, like a garage floor with some cardboard underneath. Using a cheap natural bristle paintbrush, apply the hot wax mixture evenly across the entire surface of the fabric. You need to work methodically, covering every square inch. The canvas will immediately darken and start to absorb the wax. Don't be shy with the mixture, you want a thorough, saturated coat. It will look messy and uneven at first, but that's part of the process. Make sure you get the wax right into the seams and hems, as these are potential weak points. The final and most crucial step is to drive the wax deep into the fibers. For this, you'll need a heat source, like a heat gun or a powerful hairdryer. Gently go over the entire surface of the tarp with heat. You will see the clumps of wax melt and turn the fabric a uniform, dark, translucent color as it soaks in. This ensures a complete and even coating. Once you've done the whole tarp, hang it up to cure for a day or two in a warm, dry place. It will be stiff at first, but as it cures, it will become pliable. You've just created a custom, bomb-proof piece of survival gear that will last you for years. The true test of any gear is not in a lab, but out in the unforgiving wilderness. This is where waxed canvas truly proves its worth over its plastic counterparts. Let's compare them head to head. For a waterproofing test, you can lay both a plastic tarp and your new wax canvas, tarp flat, and pour a bucket of water in the middle of each. The plastic tarp will hold the water, but any small crease or pinhole becomes an immediate failure point. On the wax canvas, you'll see the water bead up beautifully. Even after hours, the water stays on the surface, and the underside remains bone dry. The self-healing nature of the fibers gives you peace of mind that a plastic tarp can never offer. Now, let's talk about strength and durability in a real-world scenario. When you set up a shelter, you need to pull the ridgeline tight to prevent sagging and water pooling. A cheap plastic tarp often has weak grommets that will tear out under tension, especially in high winds. The fabric itself can stretch and distort. A waxed canvas tarp, especially one with reinforced loops instead of metal grommets, can be pulled incredibly tight. It resists stretching and flapping, making for a much quieter and more stable shelter in a storm. Try dragging a section of each material over rough ground and rocks. The plastic will quickly abrade and tear, while the waxed canvas will show little more than a few scuffs. In a survival situation, fire is life. It provides warmth, cooks your food, and keeps predators at bay. Here, a plastic tarp becomes a serious liability. A single floating ember from your campfire can land on it and instantly melt a hole, compromising your shelter. In a worst-case scenario, the melting plastic can drip and cause nasty burns. Waxed canvas, however, is far more fire-resistant. While it's not fireproof, an ember that lands on it will typically smolder and extinguish itself without burning a hole straight through. This allows you to set up your shelter closer to your fire, creating a warm, reflected heat zone that is essential for staying comfortable in the cold. Practical applications are endless. I've used waxed canvas as a ground sheet on wet, boggy ground, keeping my sleeping bag perfectly dry. I've used it as an emergency lean-to, a hammock tarp, and even as a makeshift canoe to float my gear across a river. Farmers and gardeners use it to cover crops and equipment, knowing it will withstand years of sun and rain. In an emergency kit, a waxed canvas tarp is a multi-tool. It can be a shelter, a rainwater collector, a signal panel, or a protective wrap for an injured person. Its versatility and sheer toughness make it one of the most valuable pieces of kit you can carry. So why are we seeing this resurgence of an old technology in a world obsessed with the next big thing? The answer is simple: reliability and sustainability. In an increasingly unpredictable world, people are seeking skills and gear that are dependable and self-sufficient. Today's campers, preppers, and homesteaders understand that true preparedness isn't about buying the latest gadget. It's about knowing how to make, use, and repair your own essential equipment. The waxed canvas tarp is the perfect symbol of this mindset. It's a rejection of the throwaway culture that has dominated our lives for too long. The environmental benefits are undeniable. A plastic tarp is a petroleum product. Its manufacturing process is energy-intensive, and at the end of its short life, it becomes plastic waste that will pollute our planet for hundreds of years. A waxed canvas tarp, on the other hand, can be made from recycled cotton. The waxes and oils can be naturally sourced. It is designed to be used for a lifetime, not just a season. When it gets worn, you don't throw it away. You simply clean it and re-wax it, restoring it to its original performance. This is a cycle of use and renewal, not consumption and disposal. This movement is about more than just tarps. It's about reclaiming a connection to the physical world. The act of making your own gear, of understanding how it works, is incredibly empowering. It builds confidence and skills that are valuable in any situation, not just survival. When you build your own shelter from a tarp you crafted with your own hands, you develop a deeper appreciation for your equipment and your own capabilities. It's a hands-on experience that no online shopping cart can ever replicate. It teaches patience, resourcefulness, and the profound satisfaction of creating something both beautiful and incredibly functional. Ultimately, the return to waxed canvas is a call to action. It's a challenge to think differently about the gear we use and the world we live in. It's an invitation to choose durability over disposability, skill over convenience, and sustainability over waste. Whether you are a weekend camper, a serious prepper, or just someone who believes in building a more resilient future, embracing these old-school techniques is a powerful step forward. The best survival tool is knowledge, and the best gear is the kind you can trust, repair, and rely on for a lifetime. The future of survival isn't about finding something new. It's about rediscovering the wisdom we left behind.